Well, it's time again.
Welcome to the Unlock Your Mind podcast, where traditional beliefs are challenged, fears are confronted, and dreams are brought back to life. I'm your host, Derek J. Love.
Unlock Your Mind podcast. Welcome.
Well, hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of the Unlock Your Mind podcast. I'm your host, Derek J. Love. And today we are going to be talking about a subject that can get pretty sticky. And a lot of damage has been done because of this topic. We're going to be asking the question, should I loan money to family and friends? Or should you loan money to family and friends? That's a pretty touchy subject. But this is the Unlock Your Mind show. What better place to talk about it? So let's get into it. So I want you to do this for me. If you're in a safe place to do it. If you're driving, just don't do it right now. But I want you to raise your right hand and raise the number of fingers that you can count on one hand where you have loaned somebody money and it worked out exactly the way it was intended to work out. Meaning you gave them $500 and they say, I'll pay you back in 2 weeks on Friday. And you got your money back in 2 weeks on Friday or sooner. So when I say exactly how it was planned out, so how many times have you loaned somebody money and they paid you back as agreed, on time, on schedule, without issue? You didn't have to call them. If you got more than 2 fingers up, you got some really good friends and family. If you're like me, I don't have any fingers. I got a fist, because that rarely ever happens, okay? So why do I ask you that? Well, I want you to see, just in your own experience, how complicated it can be loaning money to friends and family. So today I'm going to talk about 4 areas. I'm going to talk about the cost of loaning money to friends and family, the cause of loaning money to friends and family, the consequences of loaning money to friends and family, and of course, the cure for loaning money to friends and family. Let's go. The cost. What is the cost of loaning money to friends and family? Well, obviously you have the money in and of itself, whatever that dollar amount is, whether that's $20, $2,000, or $20,000, depending on who's listening. Some people got that kind of money laying around. So you got the money in and of itself. Then you have the risk. You're gambling when you loan somebody money, because clearly they don't have the money, and you are gambling your money in hopes that they honor their word and pay you back. So there's some risk associated with loaning money. That risk is enhanced when it's friends and family, because of the relationship. They feel like, well, you got money, or you don't need it, you're not hurting, so they feel like they got a little more time and they can, finagle a little more with paying you back, and they'll prioritize paying somebody else back over you, because I know you, I can relate to you, you're my friend, you're my family. So then the other part of the cost associated with it is the humiliation. I know some people, they are very humiliated to even have to ask to borrow money. And for them, it's a big thing to be in that place, to have to ask somebody else to loan them money. Been there, done that. So folks, if you guys know me, you've been listening to my show, I'm not some guy who's just had it all together. Everything I'm talking about, I've been through it, and I've felt what it's like to be the lender and the borrower. So when I'm talking today, just know which perspective I'm coming from. And then the guilt, right? That's all under the cost of loaning money to friends and family. The guilt. Friends and family will make you feel bad for not loaning them money. They'll try to guilt you, and, well, you remember that time I did this for you, and remember that time I helped you out, and you remember that time so-and-so, and everything they've ever done for you, they're going to pull that back up to try to guilt you into doing something for them, like loaning them money. The next C that we're going to talk about is the cause. The cause in which friends and family may come to you to borrow money. Obviously, one is for emergencies, right? And, an emergency is just that. It's something that's unexpected. It's an event that, you couldn't anticipate or really plan for. That's why it's called an emergency. So emergencies happen all the time. We get it. But it shouldn't be a habit. So if there's a situation that comes up and, it's a short notice thing and you need some quick cash, I could see why somebody would come to you to borrow money in that situation. That doesn't mean you should give it to them. I'm just saying I could see it. The other part is poor financial management. They don't manage their resources right. And as a result of that, when they get in the bind, they come looking for somebody else to bail them out because they don't manage their resources. Or, they could come looking, they have a business opportunity. And so they need to borrow some cash to take advantage of a business opportunity. And that's fine. That happens a lot. Friends and families help with little small startups and they're generally going to be your first business loan that you get is going to come from friends and family. I get that. I understand that. People help me out. I've helped people out. No big deal. That's just, these are some of the causes for people borrowing money. Now, let's talk about the consequences. The consequences of borrowing money. I'm a Christian, so if you don't know that, I'm a Christian. So I believe in the Bible. And in Proverbs 22:7, it says that the rich rule over the poor and the borrower is slave to the lender. And so in no uncertain terms, God makes it pretty clear that borrowing and being in debt to someone is not a favorable position to be in, because he refers to it as being a slave. And so, and back in that day, a slave meant something different than what you probably think of now if you're in the Western world, especially in America. But still, either way, you're an indentured servant. And so that's a consequence of borrowing money from friends and family. You're going to be their slave. Not literally, but it's kind of like that. It can kind of feel that way. And so that can lead to strained relationships. How many relationships have fallen apart with friends and family over a loan, over money? I got too many to count. I've had some very meaningful relationships with people that, are either no longer in existence at all, or the relationship is severely strained because of a loan. And a loan that I made to them, not they made to me. So I don't owe anybody that I know of. If I do, call me. I got you. But yeah, I don't owe anybody, but like the people who I've loaned money to, a lot of them, though, that relationship was impacted severely because of money. Number two is the lack of credibility or the lack of trust. That's a consequence of loaning money to somebody and they don't pay you back like they said or ever. You don't trust them anymore. And trust is such a big thing. Trust is huge. At least for me. Some people, that may not be such a big thing, but for me, trust is essential. Like I have to be able to trust you. And you have to have credibility with me. That's how I'm wired. And so, again, that's my own little issue and flaw. That's fine. But trust is a big issue for a lot of people. No matter whatever relationship you're in, you want to be able to trust a person, right? So you want them to have integrity. So loss of friendship, again, over money, over a loan. You loaned a friend money. They said they were going to pay you back. They didn't. And a lot of times it's not even about the money. It's just about the fact that, hey, man, you didn't keep your word. You said you were going to do something. You didn't do it. And not to mention the money. That's still a very big part of it. But it's the deeper issue is you didn't keep your promise. In addition to not paying my money back. So that's all a consequence of loaning friends and family members money. And because of the relationship, again, friends and family tend to take it easier and they don't feel the stress or the pressure to pay another friend or family back that they would, Visa or MasterCard or their car payment or, some other entity. Another consequence is tension in the relationship. You ever see somebody that owe money? Or, if you like you go to your family reunion or you got some friends, y'all good people, and y'all in each other's company quite a bit. And one friend borrowed money from the other friend, or one family member owes money to the other family member. And y'all have talked about it. The one who is owed has told you that this other person owes them. And then you see them with new shoes on, or they got a new car, or they going on vacation. They all on social media talking about living my best life. And they doing all this stuff. And you trying to figure out like how the hell you living your best life when you owe me money. There's tension in their relationship. When they get together, the dynamics are not the same. The one who is owed is looking at the one who owes like, so you just gonna act like you don't owe me, like we just not even talk about it. You just gonna act like this didn't happen, huh? And so there's a lot of tension there. And then the other side is avoidance. The person who owes the money, then they will try to avoid the person they owe. You ever seen that? Have you ever experienced that before? Where, all of a sudden you owe me money or someone owes you money and they got an issue with you, like they mad at you and they try to avoid you. They acting funny with you. It's like, hold on, bro. You borrowed money from me. You owe me. I shouldn't have to chase you. Why you avoid me? And so these are all consequences of loaning money to friends and family. And then, of course, the big one is not getting your money back. That sucks. More than likely, you didn't have that money to just relinquish. So you needed that money. But because of their relationship, you took money from your reserves or your savings or your whatever, and you gave it or loaned it to a friend or family member because of their emergency or whatever their situation was. And based on what they said, you say, okay, well, I'll take this risk of loaning you this $1,000, $100, $5,000, whatever the amount was, based on your word and based on my relationship with you. I'll do that. But then you don't get your money back. And now you kind of upset. And now you've lost the friendship / relationship because of that money situation. So I ask, is it worth it? That's the question. Is it worth it to loan money to a friend or family member? Is it worth it? Is the relationship that you have with that person worth you taking the risk to loan them money? And if the relationship is worth it, I would say don't do it. If the relationship is suspect anyway, and you got it to give, and if that will have them to avoid you because they ain't gonna pay you back, it may be worth it. If you can loan them $100 and not have to worry about them ever bothering you again because they're gonna avoid you from this point on, then you may just chalk that up as an investment. But again, if the relationship is worth having, then I would seriously recommend you not loaning money to friends and family. And I know that sounds mean. It sounds insensitive. It sounds like you don't care. It is quite the opposite, because you care about the relationship. Money has a way of destroying things if not used properly. And a lot of people are not mature enough to value the relationship over the money. And again, it could not be the money in and of itself. It's just a principle. I have a situation just, this last few years where, there was a request, an opportunity that I did not participate in. And for the last couple years, it's been a strained relationship. And I couldn't figure out why. And I just discovered it. And it's like, man, I would have gave that money to just to have the relationship. This money don't mean that to me. Like, I value you over the money. So, I mean, we got it all squashed and it's all good. But like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it creates a lot of unnecessary tension and a lot of problems when you mix money and family and friends. And so, again, if it's worth it to you, I would say don't do it. I don't loan money to anybody under any circumstances anymore. I've been burned too many times. I could look at all my fingers and toes and put a person on each finger and toe that I've loaned money to that it didn't work out right the way it was supposed to. Now, I may have gotten my money back over time, but it wasn't as agreed. And that too creates tension and unnecessary strain in the relationship. So the final C is the cure. The cure for loaning money to friends and family. You ready? This is going to be quick. If you're able to give it to them, then give it to them. If they really need it and it will help them out and you're in financial position to give it to them without any expectation of getting it back, then do that. However, if you are not in position to give them the money, where if you don't get it back, you're not going to lose the relationship over it. It's just in your mind, you can chalk it up as I gave it to him. But if you need that money back, hey, listen to your boy. Don't do it. Just, don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I'm trying to tell you, it's not worth it. There have been over 90% of the people that I know who have loaned money that they needed back to somebody. It caused a strain in that relationship. It's not worth it. So again, guys, I know it sounds mean, it sounds harsh. You're like, well, Derek, what if I really need it? Ain't I helping them by being there for them in their time of need? No. At some level, you're enabling them, especially if it's a habitual thing. Now, if it's a one-time deal, and this is unusual and uncharacteristic of this person, okay, I can see that. There's exceptions to all rules, right? But generally, if this is a pattern and they're always looking to you to bail them out, you're enabling them and you're perpetuating this bad behavior that they're going to continue to exhibit. And so you gotta cut the training wheels off, and they got to learn how to figure this out on their own. You can't be that crutch that they lean on every time they get in a hardship. So I don't care who it is, mama, daddy, sister, brother, uncle, cousin, best friend. It don't matter. You got to learn to say no and not let them guilt you into doing something that you can't afford to do. Period. They'll be mad. They'll get over it. You know what happened? They'll figure out another way to do it, or they'll go without. This has been the Unlock Your Mind Show. Until next week, make it a great one. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of the Unlock Your Mind podcast. I hope you found some value in listening today. I pray you would share this episode. Share the love. Become a part of the Unlock Your Mind family. We're all in this together, changing the way we think so that we can change our financial future. If this episode challenged you or inspired you or made you want to do something different, I want to hear about it. You can email me. It's Derrick@DerrickJLove.com. That's DERRICK @DerrickJLove.com. Or if you want to do something a little quicker, leave me a voicemail. You can reach me at 832-721-2251. And remember, if you can unlock your mind, you can unlock your money. So start now. Start living the life you love and loving the life you live. See you next week, guys.
Thank you for tuning in to the Unlock Your Mind podcast. Follow Derrick J. Love on all social media platforms at Derrick J. Love. Derrick J. Love is a financial coach, a public speaker, author, and real estate broker. To bring Derrick to speak at your function or corporate event, contact him at 832-721-2251. That's 832-721-2251. Also, follow Derrick on all social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or on the website, DerrickJLove.com.